Dinner for shoes, please.
Hi, this is Sarah. This is Dinner for Shoes. What's up? The setup looks a little different today. I just keep surprising you with different setups. But I am thrilled to announce my first guest. Like, who would have thunk someone wants to hang out with me? Like, it's crazy. Someone from the fashion industry, mind you. So I'm really excited. I dressed a little bit like muted today because I wanted the spotlight to be all on her. I want to talk about her outfits. I want to talk about her shoes. Her shoes are very important. She has a new shoe clip collection. You'll notice that there's nothing on my plate. This is my standard go-to plate. You know that. No books because there's no story yet. There's no story here. We're going to go over to the Lele Sadoughi showroom and office, and that's where the story is. But I'm so excited to chat with her about how she made it in the fashion industry. She's very well known for her accessories. Kate Middleton wears her headbands, which is amazing. Like, a lot of iconic celebrities wear her headbands, but I think more important than the whole celebrity aspect of it is just like, I mean, she created this accessories brand because she wanted to find, she saw a gaping hole in the marketplace, similar to how I saw a gaping hole in the podcast place for fashion podcasts that are just really real and down to earth and can deal with a few, like, I don't know, nose picking sessions or like messy hot dogs, whatnot. She noticed a gaping hole in the marketplace for well-made accessories, earrings. It ended up being headbands later on, and really great quality jewelry that's fun. It's not just chic, it's also expressive of people's personalities, and she went for it. She wanted to create this jewelry at an accessible. She wanted to create this jewelry at an accessible price point so that, a lot of women could wear it and work it into their wardrobes. And her collection is only expanded. I'm really, really excited to talk to her today because she just launched a very cool shoe clip collection with Sarah Jessica Parker. I mean, she'll tell you more about that in just a bit, but I think that that's great, and it's so like reflective of what we do here, talk about shoes, obviously. And she partners with the American Cancer Society and creates bows. They're like bejeweled bows, her own essentially version of the different cancer ribbons that you see for awareness and support. So I think that that's really important, and another huge reason why I wanted to talk to her. But I also wanted to talk to her just to see if she had any like entrepreneurial tips and just really help me out. I'm not new to the fashion world, but I'm new to going into a new business venture, kind of like a no man's land is how I will put it. And so I wanted to see if she had any tips for multitasking. She started her business, before she started her business, she was working and creating jewelry for J. Crew. She created the iconic bubble necklace. She was working for Rebecca Taylor, Tory Burch. She had a gig with Tory Burch, partnering with her while she was still working on her own brand. Amazing stuff. Anyway, I'm wearing this simple black set by Marble today. It's satin, it doesn't wrinkle, so traveling to Lisa's office won't be that crazy, but it's got a wrap skirt, a button-down shirt. Don't worry about me. Wearing actually the same jewelry set I wore in our previous episode from Etika. And for my shoes, I'm just wearing these Sam Edelman flats. Really simple, really easy. They don't belong in the plate. We're gonna go find a much cooler shoe for the plate. All right, come with me over to the Lele Sadoughi showroom and office, and we will talk to Lisa. Hi, we are here with Lisa Sadoughi of Lele Sadoughi. We are going to talk about all things accessories, new SJP collection. I'm really excited. Mm-hmm. Let's start with, first of all, the coffee. How's your coffee?
Yes.
Did you try it yet?
Just had one sip.
Okay.
Nice warm coffee on a cool fall day.
And I am one of those people who always wants cold coffee, no matter what. So I'm like one of those. I tried like the coffee shake from Cafe by the Girls, which is where we got the coffee from. And it's really good. It's like a coconut coffee shake. So I'm loving that. Are you the type of person who like needs coffee to get through the day or not so much?
No, I don't even really drink coffee.
Really?
Usually I have decaf. I don't even remember what I ordered regular or not, but I made an exception. We had a big party last night, so I was like, I think I kind of need a coffee today. So,
yeah.
But I've kind of weaned myself off, so I don't need it. So this is a luxury.
That's great. That's kind of like a goal of mine. I want to eventually do that, but I'm like a 1 cup a day girl, but I'll like split it up throughout the day. But it helps me get through work. So
yes, like, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's dive into you starting the brand, because I know you started at you were at Rebecca Taylor, you worked for Tory Burch. You were kind of, if I read correctly, you were starting to think about your own brand while you were at Tory Burch. You were working for J. Crew, and you created the iconic bubble necklace.
The bubble necklace, yes. I still see it around all the time, which is amazing.
Amazing.
And I was there. I launched the jewelry at J. Crew.
Okay.
I used to do apparel before that. So kind of was doing pattern making and trims. I did trims at Rebecca Taylor. Okay. And then J. Crew was there for many years, for 5 years.
Wow.
So that was such my education on jewelry.
Yeah.
And I think I combined my life of trims, to just embellish everything, which you'll see all around us.
Yeah.
And when I was starting my own thing, Tori approached me. So I was working at Tori at the same times when I started.
Okay.
And she was awesome for entrepreneurs. Okay, come in 3 days a week, do your thing 2 days a week. And so I made it work until I had my first kid, and I was like, I can't do all of these things.
Yeah. Do you have any tips for multitasking though, when people are really passionate about multiple projects and they just want to get it all done? How would you divide up your time?
I think women are so good at multitasking, or they have no choice they have to do that, especially if you have a husband or a family or a life and work and all of these things. Yeah. So I just kind of I have to feel okay with knowing that I did 100% of my effort, but I haven't finished 100% of my to-do list. Mm-hmm. And if you know that you put your best effort is what you can do, then, you'll finish it tomorrow.
Yeah. That's incredible. I really respect you for doing that. This is a brand new fashion podcast, and I kind of almost feel like you probably would have great tips for me, because I'm starting this. You're my first guest, which is so exciting.
It's so exciting.
But you saw a gaping hole in the market, right? With you wanted jewelry to be accessible to women, but also fun and good quality, of course. So do you have any tips for breaking into no man's land, kind of? You're this is nerve-wracking. It's not really existing.
Mm-hmm.
So
for starting a company?
Yeah. Or building on an idea, whether it's a podcast, a fashion company.
I think that we all have so many ideas, and they just go in your dreams if you don't really do it. And there is never a good time. There is always some obstacle, and you got to do it. And if you're just let me wait till this, there's always going to be something else on your list blocking you. Yeah. So you just have to know that you jump into it. And if you can surround yourself with a good support team, because you should use all the help that you can get, because you can't do it by yourself.
Totally. Well, I have major respect for you, and you're now one of my role models for that reason.
Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about your headbands. So I feel like your headbands with the knot and everything, it's really become an iconic symbol of your brand. So do you want to talk a little bit about your love story with the headbands, and maybe why you spotlighted that item and you were this is going to be big, this is going to be,
I didn't know it was going to be at all. I started doing jewelry, and I love just embellishing different things. And I was working on this jeweled minodier with pearls. And I'm just going to pull some headband. We're right next to everything on the wall here too, but a jeweled minodier with little pearls hand sewn.
Okay.
And at the same time, I was running around. I had 2 kids in the first 2 years of my business. So at this time in 2018, I was already 6 years into the business, mm-hmm. and I had my kids were 3 and 2 years old or something like that. And so I would just throw on a headband, and I couldn't find something that I felt was elevated or nice. It was my daughter's little something to hold my hair back. And it just dawned on me when I was making this minodier, I'm what if we did this jewel thing on a headband?
Right,
because I was wearing some little something. And the factory's well, I don't do headbands, but let me try. And now that's what they do mostly.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. It's not I invented the headband, but for sure brought it back in an elevated way.
Oh yeah.
That it's collectible. It's fun. People are just so joyful, and They like proudly display them in their closets. The amount of pictures we get, it makes me so happy.
I love that. And I mean, yeah, the way that they look, it's almost like a piece of decor. Like in this Yankee one, that's amazing. So
yeah, we did the Major League Baseball. We have a license to all baseball teams. So like I said about collectible, or just, you know, people have such passion just about their favorite thing. We're going to introduce like a pet lovers headband. Oh my God. So
I'm getting I love my cats. I have
okay. So we did a dog one and a cat one.
Yeah.
We actually do a contest every year where anybody can apply, and they submit their ideas, drawing or ideas or something. And this year's winner is pet lovers.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that so fun?
Who was the winner?
She was so cute, and she actually has pugs. So we incorporated pugs charm on like a few dogs, but I know some people are going to be like, can you do another one with my dog? So, you know, it's fun. It's fun. We have such a community, and I think people are going to be really excited about that. So that's coming in December.
Amazing. And you have the personalization option, which just was launched in December.
Yeah. Which is perfect for holiday time and gifting.
Totally.
You know, we got these beautiful mother of pearl little charms, and we created our own font for the gold script and made these charms, and they're all hand sewn. So you can order like your initials.
That's like, you know, that's the kind of jewelry that I actually appreciate, because it feels like special to you and personal to you. And I think that like, you know, that's how you show your personality. So it's the best. Okay, this is like a kind of a weird question, but my sister was always like the one out of the two of us who could pull off a headband. She was always like slipping them on as a way to just like get her hair out.
You can pull one off. I'll show you after this. I'm not worried.
But I just wanted to know, like, do you have any tips for, it is kind of like a preppy accessory in a way. Do you have any tips for girls who like want the whole Blair Waldorf vibe? Like when you're wearing a headband, how should the rest of your outfit be?
Well, I love that we're starting with accessories and then going to the outfit. Okay. I think that's really fun. Okay. And because that's how I do it. Mm-hmm. And some people think, oh, well, I wear the same jewelry every day, change my outfit. Mm-hmm. Change your accessories every day. Yeah. For that kind of look, I mean, we have like 15 different silhouettes. So from that are like super skinny to like huge, big turban like. So you can look like I'm going to a caftan on the beach and my hair's all back, and you know, the Greta, after Greta Garbo, you can look like a Hollywood siren.
Love that.
You can look like a Blair Waldorf with a big bow on top. Mm-hmm. You can look really sleek back. We have a Bassett named after Carolyn Bassett Kennedy. Super chic, right? Uh-huh. So just like very clean and thin, with she's got like, and you can wear them with her thin glasses. So I mean, there's so many different looks you can have. So I don't even think it's necessarily like just about preppy. I feel like we even have the holly with the big side bow, very like Cyndi Lauper style. So whatever you're feeling for the day, we got
options. Yeah, there are options. Okay, let's talk about, I feel like this is like, you know, the elephant in the room, but like the beautiful elephant in the room. We've got the SJP and Lele Sadoughi collaboration here with shoe clips. I know it's not just shoe clips in the collection, but
we did, every shoe clip has a matching accessory. Amazing. Because we like to mix and match and coordinate. So
okay, for like shoe clips for dummies, how do you make sure that the shoe clip like goes on seamlessly and isn't like uncomfortable when someone's walking and like disturbing with the
wall? Well, I wore these on the city streets of West Village last night. We had our debut yesterday with Sarah Jessica Parker. Yes. And she is the most lovely person ever. And we just had like this really nice, intimate, just kind of celebration. Well, I'm of the age where I wore shoe clips when I was younger, and I think none of us in my office has worn shoe clips, so it was a little bit of an education. But I'll show you right here. You can see the clips, and they grab onto the bottom. I mean, it's super easy. Right. My husband actually wore them as cufflinks the other day.
Oh my God, that's
and then we were having some people wear them here. I mean, I'm wearing the brooch right here, but some of the girls last night were wearing it on their blazer, and it's just, you know what? It's just super happy. It's super fun. I think that accessories are the best way to kind of show your style and your mood.
Yeah, for sure. This is a good dinner. This is a sturdy dinner.
Yes. And you can have a little extras on the side, right?
Yes, of course. Okay, so was that your first time meeting Sarah Jessica, and how did this collaboration come about?
We're neighbors. Our stores on Bleecker Street.
Okay.
So that's how it started. Okay. Which is super organic. You know, when they were first opening, like, I do all accessories except for shoes. She does shoes, and she'd reached out, and wanted to and thought about doing shoe clips for a really long time. I've been obsessed with shoe clips that I had already had some developed.
Okay.
And I stored them in one of the drawers around here. And I was like, oh yes, I have to finally, like, this is perfect because I don't do shoes. And so we were able to do matching, you know, we have like the clips here, but then you have like a matching brooch or even matching, you know, like headbands too.
Love that.
It's really fun.
That's such a testament to how like when women's brains come together, it's like this had like that had already been like brewing for you, and it's like obviously her, and it's just like of course like this works. It's so
and
perfect.
It was so fluid. It was so easy. Their team and Sarah Jessica like super lovely. And when we did the photo shoot together, she was putting all the clips around here, around the neckline of her dress. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't think about that.
So creative.
You know, so now I'm thinking, where else and how else can I wear everything? Because I might think about it only in the traditional way, but you can put a shoe on your plate. You know, you can put it anywhere.
Exactly. That's the vibe here. Okay, do you or Sarah Jessica have a favorite? I know that's hard because they're probably all like your babies, but
they're all little babies. I don't know. I mean, I know she's loving a lot of the jeweled ones. Okay. But yesterday she was wearing a bow one, and I wore a jeweled one. So I don't change it up. Yeah. I think it's about mixing and matching. Yeah. And I think you don't have to wear like the flower and the flower. It's like mix some crystals, mix some fabric, and it's all about the different textures together.
Were there any like secret little nods to like Sex and the City and Carrie, or not really? This reminds me of like her beginning.
Yeah, I feel like she's definitely known for a flower brooch. So to be able to bring that back is iconic.
Yeah, I'm thinking of that one dress that has like the 3D floral on it that she wears. That's so funny. It's crazy how iconic those looks have become.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you want to talk a little bit about the incredible bows that you made with the American Cancer Society? Because that was like your way of like kind of personalizing each of the ribbons, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, what was your inspiration for what you created, and maybe how important is it to you to continue like, you know, working with charities in your brand? How do you check yourself and make sure that you're constantly reaching out and doing the work?
Trying to do more. No time to do anything, but trying to do more. And, you know, every year or for the past multiple years, I've created a headband for breast cancer awareness, a pink with crystals. And this year we did a whole collection, like multiple pieces. And you see everyone wearing like, you know, a little store-bought ribbon.
Yeah.
And I was like, we can do that better.
Yeah.
And for people to have such pride and support. And we partnered with American Cancer Society. And even went a step above that, and we know exactly where we want the money to go, to the Hope House, which we walk to from this office. Our whole team is going to go there and really, do an event with people that are staying there for patients that, need to go back and forth to appointments and things like that. And so, I don't know, just it's great. I think it's important to do these fun things like with Sarah Jessica Parker, do some meaningful ones as well. And I think it really... It is important to engage with our community and our collectors.
Absolutely. That's like why I have so much respect for you. I feel like how can you like create a brand and not have room for that, make room for that, right? And yeah, that's amazing. Okay, kind of a little bit of a shift in conversation, but so all of this, I'm a very like eccentric dresser normally. I wanted to give you the spotlight today, so I was like, I'm not gonna go crazy. But basically, The quiet luxury trend is something that like is here, but I feel like your brand is almost like the antidote to that. Like you're so like fun, and you're all about like using accessories to express yourself.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the quiet luxury trend? Do you do it in your own way using your accessories?
Let's just take what I'm wearing now. Okay. I think this is very refined for me.
Some people might be like, what are you wearing?
Okay, tell us. So things that I've had in my closet for 15 years that I don't even like this fit. I think this might be like Alexander Wang from whatever. God. I've had this skirt definitely for a decade. And
the bubble skirt.
Right? And I love, this is one of my favorites.
I love it.
So this is very tailored for me. And if you think of just what's going on now, very clean shapes. But then, I like to add a lot of flair and crystals in the morning. Why not?
Yeah. Okay. That's a great way to do it. And you kind of are mixing prints in this like very subtle way, or mixing textures and colors, I guess. I love that. Okay. So I guess, what are you most excited about for the future right now of your brand? Do you have anything that's like...
Yeah, we have just so many fun partnerships like in the works, different things. We've expanded into home. We did like the sports collaboration with MLB.
So cool.
We, have expanded on our celebration ones, including like the ones that are the ribbons. We're going to do more ribbons that are coming out on Giving Tuesday.
Oh,
And
that's
so,
amazing.
yeah, excited about all that.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. Okay, so just one final question for you. I guess, what advice would you give to a young person in the fashion industry who maybe has inspirations just like you and wants to start something? Maybe it's not accessories, but it's something along those lines. In the way the fashion industry is now, taking all that into account, what advice would you give?
I think that there are so many people that have been through this that are really willing to help. And help meaning just like reply to one email, forward it to somebody, help connect somebody with somebody. And I think that don't be afraid to network, because one person that you just chat with might be like, oh, I know the buyer to this place. And then, and then you kind of, somebody helps you. And it's like a 5-minute help for somebody. It's nothing, but just be as open as you can and ask for help.
Yeah.
Don't be too proud to be like, I can do this on my own. Use all the resources, because we all need each other. And, then maybe like I've had help throughout the years. So now I'm more willing to, I'm like, I'm going to answer an email. And I always hear this, and I've heard, Diane von Furstenberg speak a few times, and she makes an effort to reply to a few emails a day of people that she doesn't know.
That
just
is
like pass it forward and help, even if it's
amazing.
just like connecting people.
Yeah, she's another amazing woman. So many amazing women.
Yes.
This just popped into my head when I was looking at you, because you were talking about having these items in your closet for so long, but also I know you like to vintage shop. Do you have any favorite locations in New York or in any big cities?
Palm Beach. Actually, Dallas is pretty good because there's not that many people looking for things, and there's a lot of good stuff. And I feel like in New York, people have priced it a different way than when you can find some good finds. Palm Springs, California, where people retire and they don't need their stuff anymore. That's fabulous.
That's a really good thought, and I've never thought about that before.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yes.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Lisa.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure being here, and
thanks for the coffee.
Here. Of course. Yes. Cafe by the Girls. Thank you. Okay, we're home. We're ready to feed the cats. The cats are taking place of the plates. And we had a great time talking to Lisa, learning about her brand, Lele Sadoughi, and I hope that you learned a lot today. Hearing from other people in the industry and seeing the way their minds work is just so inspirational to me. I especially just I think my number one takeaway from talking with Lisa was just her and SJP, them being like neighbors and collaborating on this obvious collection that had kind of been brewing in Lisa's head for a long time. And Sarah Jessica just was like, of course, this makes total sense. I mean, their brands are so complementary to each other, So I hope that you enjoyed, and subscribe, tell all your friends about Dinner for Shoes. We're gonna have more guests on for you. We may do something next week about my new short hair, because that's kind of like the elephant in the room also. We didn't even talk about that, and there's a story there, and we can definitely relate it to fashion. So I hope you enjoyed. Bye. That was a really squeaky bye. 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 The cats are getting fed now. Bye. It's nummy time.